Hey friends, so we made it. Sounds a bit dramatic, I know, but it's been quite a journey. The last week, the months preceding that, and the 13 months of homelessness, and 5 or 6 years of really starting to kind of put the brakes on and say, whoa, there's something wrong, very wrong here. I feel far more powerful here in England, actually, just having the ability to communicate with people and to express, and thus far, no maskage. Although, obviously, it's pretty full on here too. Full on. Strange. When the speed of strange just gets quicker and quicker. So, the four of us are sharing a room at the moment, laying low, and gonna see what tomorrow brings. I'm not predicting fireworks, but I'm staying calm and being centered. And I think I was having a bath just now. We haven't been able to bath for a long time, and a half bath. So, and I was having that, and it really was a powerful sense that this is so important now, just to be still and quiet and balanced. I say like that, balanced, left and right, up and down. Maybe there's a third axis to consider as well. Everything in harmony, the Trinity. I looked at a Celtic knot this morning by chance, and for me it's a trinity of rings interlocking. That's what I saw. And it's mind, body, soul, whatever the Trinity represents. There's a physical, a natural physical material element to it, and then there's the other soul and sort of, dare I say, God level, creator level element, the third element, the Trinity, of the Trinity. So I think these need to be held in balance now. We hear talk of a new star that's been discovered, and all of a sudden will be visible very brightly out of the blue. It's just whooped in there, and it'll be visible tomorrow night on the 21st at around sunset, apparently, just after sunset. So it'll be in your western sky. I guess just a little bit ahead of the moon. Psyop, or is it a portent? Is it designed to give people a sense that there is a coming, a happening, an Armageddon, an unveiling, a revealing? I don't know. I really don't know. But the speed of the sort of alignment of the cogs of the CV control center, that seems to be, maybe I'm misreading it, but it just seems to me to be super tightening in many areas simultaneously. And is it in line with the end of the year? I was thinking, it has all to do with trying to, not all to, but a big part to do with altering the vibration of the creators here at this important vibratory moment. Is it a moment? Is it a period of months? Not sure, but certainly it felt like this was a break point, and certainly how they brought London now into a new stage. They've invented a new stage of lockdown 4, which feels like military law a little bit. I don't know how much of it will actually play out on the streets, how many of the motorway access ways will be checkpointed and stuff like that, and if even that's on the cards. But they seem to be making certain noises about that sort of thing. And it's not not beyond the realms of what is within the predicted potential plague going forward. And um, I would say that, say you were a fish in a coral reef and there was a fisherman coming overhead trawling, yours wouldn't be best sort of approach at this point in time would be to kind of hunker down, lay low, not go and blow bubbles at the fisherman's net and say, "What are you doing? You stealing my family." Um, that's how it feels like right now. It probably won't feel like that in a little while's time, but you know, it seems pointless to go and give fodder to these poor soldiers. I mean, policy officers now. You know, they are really in the role of a civil soldier now. When you look at some of the footage coming out of the cities where people are protesting, more power to them and credit to them for having the courage to stand up. But do we feel it's a little too late? And anyway, was it even whatever was lined up, whatever was going to happen to this arena that we're in, was preordained by these luminaries and the time, the clock that's ticking here. So it was preordained, and should we be so upset by that? And for those who feel like this world has become rather fallen, traveling around as I have lately, people in the main are just looking to get away, just have a quiet life and just get by as much as they can. A place like Portugal, I mean, the truth is, whilst the cities might be all bright lights and flash cars, they're out there in the countryside. It's dirt poor. I think there's a lie to be exposed about this first world, third world thing. I think that's really all about where the stock exchanges and the ancillary systems that go with that, where they're at. I remember going to Thailand one time, and Bangkok blew me away. It was like, whoa, this is all glass and fancy shops and whatnot. And then, of course, out in the countryside, the people are peasants, living as peasants, and very simple lives still, almost untouched by modernity. So, I've seen that in a few places. It's a stark kind of example of how fake money can come in and create something. It helps maybe the local economy, and all of a sudden, some of the locals have got little bars and restaurants and opportunities to be a part of a supply chain and so on. So it's not all gloom and doom. And I think that for the majority of people I see around, and we have to acknowledge there's a need for, in this world, in this paradigm, there's a need for some systems of organization. That goes without saying. You can't be without, driving thousands of miles around Europe without someone organizing the maintenance of those roads, and and just like I said, state of order, that there people are not driving in maniacal ways and so on. These things are relevant in our world. So yeah, it's important that we're thoughtful about what it is we're asking for, and what kind of sea change people are going to be demanding, because for sure people are going to be demanding a change. We feel like that the jab, that is a possible F flag, if you know what I mean, friends. it might be that what they've done is they've created a whole lot of puppets, including William Gates, to create this sort of archetype, this dark archetype that people could be inflated by. I'm not going in. I'm not batting for the old V scene. I can assure you, I'm not. But I'm seeing these interesting news stories pop up about people having adverse reactions. Surprise, surprise, of course we could say, but it's just getting too much airtime to be like, oh, let's keep that as like some kooky kind of, we don't acknowledge, children who were damaged. So all of a sudden we're acknowledging and seeing it in the papers. If not to create the really strong antagonism toward a potential, rollout of mandatory and all this, which I don't think is on the cards, and I don't think you should consent to that in any way in your mind or body. Anyway, so there's a longer game going on here, but in the short term, wow, really try and keep things. And if Adam is listening, by the way, thanks for that favor. We started treating Pebbles, our dog. She's lying next to me here. We tried treating her for a cancer and which there was evident a very large lump on her ribs. We've been treating her for a few months now with this cannabis oil and extract that was made from my friend Adam. And we had to take Pebbles to the vet the other day to get her worming tablet done, because they wouldn't, that has to be done as part of the coming back into the country regulation. And what a surprise that was. The vet, she was a lovely vet and spoke a bit of English, which was great. And she felt Pebbles over and she said, oh, she's a little bit overweight, but she never noticed the lump. She never noticed the lump. The lump has receded so much that it's there, but the vet didn't notice it. €2 it cost for the deworming. What a score. I was chuffed about that, because that's another incursion. But so thanks, Adam, for that. I really cannot commend the cannabis oil highly enough for treatment of any kind of most ailments and conditions. In various ways it can be taken, of course, topically or orally or other ways, but take care of yourself. I don't know what's coming down the pipeline, but rather be excited about this. I know they have destroyed so many businesses and so many things, and it's kind of in some ways easier for a guy like me who has nothing but this car and my family. This is my life. And and so I've got less in so many ways now. I have so much less to lose than someone who is holding on to dear life to something that they've been working towards and on for years, or have built part of themselves around. So I think there might be some travails to come, or there are. But these are exciting times, and if we've been doing the work, cleaning ourselves up, trying to stay clean of mind, body, and soul much as possible, then hopefully this transition, if this is what it is going to be, if not smooth, at least done with insight, and done with a glad heart, rather than a, oh, woe is me, what terrible Illuminati are doing to me. Because I think that whatever is here, whatever structures and so on, good, bad, or otherwise, they are all of this is within the scope, within the remit or the realm of the Creator, and for that reason there can be no fear. We are eternal beings, endless beings. That's why they hide infinity. That's why they hide this 33. They, you know, if you invert the two threes like this, you get the infinity loop. And I think that this is what they're hiding, is that we are infinite beings of light, of love. There is no death. This is a visit. This is a holiday. You come in your flesh suit, and you go back out again, and or whatever you are, whatever we are, you know. And I really think that this is our time to reassert that truth. You know, in a considered and in a loving, meaningful way, and to be able to assert that truth with a clear morality, with a clear sense of what it is we, you know, what is our, where is our, or the nature of our true place here. And that includes the policemen, by the way, the policy officers, the order followers. I can just about see the sun through the clouds. Had a few views of it recently, but there's been a lot of cloud, and the moon. You know, the thing is that I think we're all in it to a greater or lesser degree. You know, we've all succumbed, or we've all consented, or we've all been seduced into consenting to less reasonable terms than is appropriate, I believe, in terms of what the Creator intended. Unless the Creator intended to make you a slave, an indentured, you know, slave who has to give up many, many years of their life in order simply just to scrape by, and even in that scraping by, you're still having to have incursions with bills that turn into red letters, that turn into bailiff incursions, and other sorts of penalties that you might levy on your child, were they to be like, you know, your behavior is such, I'm removing your access to the sweets, or whatever, you know. And this is what you, as an adult divine soul, we have consented to, and gotten ourselves lost in. And it's created like a whole subculture of this nannyism, you know. And having worked in social care for many years in local government, I encountered a lot of these nannies, you know, would-be nannies who want to, once they've helped you across the road, they want to hold on and not let go. That's disabling, you know. That is retarding. That does hold you back, holds us all back. And so whilst we continue to kind of stand at the creche wall gate going, well, we want more, you know, fruit juice with our lunch, we're only giving credence to their creation of this creche. And maybe that's what this place is, you know. Maybe it's just it's a creche for souls, you know. Maybe that's what this is. But I don't think so. And if it were true, then they wouldn't need to mislead us. They'd say, "Hey, welcome, creche. This is the world you live in. It's a realm. It's kind of electromagnetic. It's, you know, connected to some higher source, love, energy, and we are here to enrich ourselves. And gosh, traveling through Europe as I have recently, is like, I kept thinking, wow, I wish I had more time and money to stop in a town and a place for longer and say, hey, let's wander around for a few days. Let's just soak up the natural beauty of the beauty of this place. Or if we were in the countryside, you know, let's just do that. And if I chose to do that for a few years, then that should be my entitlement, you know. oh, but you have to work, you have to contribute to it. Well, yeah, in this system we've created that situation, but I feel like there are other systems where you could say, hey, anyone born here should have a certain basic entitlement, and that's not like, oh, you're a scrounger handout. That whole relationship of a scrounger handout, and the government will give you a low rent place, and you'll feel like and they'll be able to come and knock on your door and mess with your life and do all these. No, not like that. That's still giving Big Brother, or Big Daddy, your sort of your consent and saying, yes, you tell me when I can do this and what I can have. It shouldn't be like that. You could say, well, look, how do you make services work? How do you make things work if people don't work? Well, yes, people perhaps we agree in any sort of most any setting, people need to contribute towards their household, their neighborhood, perhaps, in one way or another. So, there are ways of getting to that and saying, okay, well, if you're giving, say, 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week of your time to the maintaining the roads, teaching the children, whatever the things are, then you'll be well taken care of, and it won't be like, oh, poor you. But for that guy who says, you know what, I'd rather just be like the artist that I am. I'd rather be in the woods, in my thing, doing my thing. It'd be like, okay, well, that's a very low cost kind of lifestyle. I mean, you could go and have that lifestyle without having to do much other than maybe chop your own wood or not even that. It's not about the point is not about putting the human experience on the back foot, putting it under duress, because we don't operate well under stress, and that's why we're being stressed at this time. They don't want us operating well. But my friends, you need to operate well. So go well, be well, and I'll talk to you soon. Gosh, that was long.